mainstream analysts in Canada to describe him after he has failed to come up with the goods. Nevertheless, what I can say with some measure of certainty is that Trudeau has only himself to blame. That's because Justin Trudeau has gambled his nation's credibility by making a baseless allegation against India, a responsibly rule-abiding, democratic, emerging power that has been a force for good on the international stage. We would never have known that Trudeau was misleading had he not admitted himself that his government's campaign to accuse India of carrying out extrajudicial killings of Khalistanis on Canadian soil lacked proof. Viewers, this is what he said before an important inquiry committee that is investigating whether his government, has been giving China a wide berth in Canada. More on that later. But viewers, let me quote what he said. We chose to continue to work behind the scenes to try and get India to cooperate. Their reply was, how much do you know? Give us the evidence. We asked them to investigate their own assets. At that point, it was primarily intelligence, not hard evidentiary proof. We said, let's work together to look into your security services. India said, we're not doing that. Listen to him, viewers. Just listen to this. It's very important.
We chose to continue to work behind the scenes to try and get India to cooperate with us. Their asks of us was, well, how much do you know? Give us the evidence you have on this. And our response was, well, it's within your security agencies. You should be looking into how much they know. You should be engaging us. Oh, no, tell us what you know. Show us the evidence. And at that point, it was primarily intelligence, not hard evidentiary proof. So we said, well, let's work together and look into your security services and maybe we can get that done. No, we're not doing that.
When India asked, show us the proof, he said that at that point, I only had intelligence, primary intelligence. I did not have evidentiary proof. So viewers, this admission raises serious questions about the motives behind Trudeau's attack on India. We all know that he is one of the most unpopular incumbent prime ministers in Canada's history and is trailing in the approval ratings behind his Conservative Party opponent ahead of elections. Those elections can happen, viewers, in the next 8-9 months. Trudeau thinks that he needs a diversion, and what better diversion to win back voters than by playing some muscular populist by inventing a foreign hand, destabilizing Canada and pinning all the blames for his failures on India. We also know that he needs to appease the Canadian Sikh Khalistan apologist leader of a key ally, the NDP, that has drifted away from him, leaving his government on the verge of collapse. He may not even have the next 6 months in office if the NDP remains alienated from him. So Trudeau thinks by playing India out to be anti-Sikh, he hopes his estranged ally Jagmeet Singh will return to the fold. Now viewers, in around 20 parliamentary constituencies in Canada, the Sikh vote is decisive. That's why he needs Jagmeet, and Jagmeet, viewers, as you know, is a Khalistan apologist, and by making all this song and dance, Trudeau says, well, Jagmeet will think that I am in his corner and he'll give me the support that I need. But what we didn't know before yesterday was that he had also become a handmaiden of the Pakistani deep state and the Chinese CCP that are desperate to diminish India's growing influence in North America. And viewers, you just have to listen to the chief of the intelligence services that reports to Trudeau, who said that Pakistan has got a free hand in Canada to cut down India's influence. And it is doing this by actually propping up Khalistanis. I'm not saying this, viewers. The intelligence chief of the Canadian number one intelligence agency is saying it, and she reports. To whom? But to Mr. Trudeau. And there's no better way, viewers. Trudeau is found to please his masters than by going after India. In fact, Trudeau is facing an inquiry over his party's links to China and the possibility that he let Beijing interfere in Canadian affairs for a price. Naturally now, that Trudeau has admitted that he never submitted proof to India of its alleged involvement in killing Canadian Khalistan Sikhs, despite going public with his accusations against India, New Delhi is rightly now claiming vindication. New Delhi has come out and said, Canada has presented us no evidence whatsoever in support of the serious allegation that it has chosen to level against India and Indian diplomats. The responsibility for the damage that this cavalier behavior has caused to India-Canada relations lies with Prime Minister Trudeau alone, unquote. Listen in, viewers, to the Ministry of External Affairs, what they said today. Here is Foreign Secretary speaking. Okay, we'll try to get that for you in just a few moments, but viewers, the Indian government's claims are underlined by the plainly visible contradictions in Trudeau's and his government's several claims. And let me just bring them out. The charge that he made launched investigation because there were clear indications that India violated our sovereignty, unquote. Not my words, his. Clear indications. Viewers, you get clarity when you have proof. But the contradiction is that Trudeau admits when he went public with the accusations last year, he, quote, lacked evidentiary proof, unquote. He made another charge. He raised the issue with Prime Minister Modi on the sidelines of G20 meet. But Modi's response was unhelpful, he says. The contradiction is clear. Trudeau admits that in September 2023, which is incidentally also when the G20 happened, he had only, quote, shared intelligence, unquote, viewers. And that too preliminary intelligence. And guess what, viewers? That intelligence was being shared to him by guess whom? Gurpatwant Singh Pannun. Yes, that madcap Khalistani who lives in America, because he confessed yesterday to it to the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, on air. Here's another charge. Canada fully respects the sovereignty and territorial integrity of India, but Indian government not reciprocating, unquote. The contradiction. The RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Assistant Commissioner Bridget Gauvin, inadvertently admits presence of pro-Khalistani elements on Canadian soil. Viewers, Khalistani elements you are nursing, and then you are telling us that we are looking after India's territorial interests. Can you believe it, viewers? This guy is a two-faced liar. Here's another charge. There is a violent extremism threat in Canada that Canada and India have been working on over the years. Here's the contradiction. Since 2003, India has sent 26 extradition requests to Canada, including one for Hardeep Singh Nijjar in 2022. All have been rejected, viewers. If you were cooperating with us, you would have handed back some of these characters. That's plain and simple. There's another charge. He says, we believe the Bishnoi group is connected to the agents of the government of India, unquote. Here's a contradiction. Canada says India uses Lawrence Bishnoi for hit jobs, but forgets it harbors his partner in crime, Goldie Brar and associates. This is weird. There's another charge. FBI and RCMP sharing all information that is prosecutable. The contradiction. When US intelligence has information about pending assassinations, it warns not only friends but also adversaries in advance. And it has done so with Iran. So why wouldn't it do so with India, viewers? Charge. Another charge. The use of organized crime syndicates by India to create a perception of an unsafe environment targeting South Asian community in Canada. The contradiction provided by the Canadian intelligence report itself, which listed Khalistanis as one of the top 5 terrorist threats in the country, but later watered down the claims under pressure. Viewers, nothing is adding up. And despite the Canadian Prime Minister's confession and despite the egg that is literally dripping off his face, there are some in India that are still prepared to give him a wide berth, to believe him. In fact, a section of the India Bloc parties is placing the onus on India, on Prime Minister Modi, not on Trudeau. Instead of closing ranks to join in condemnation of Canada, viewers, they are carping. Here's Congress MP and ex-Punjab Chief Minister Channi. He says, quote, India and Canada enjoy very good relations. People from Punjab are living in Canada in very large numbers. We enjoy good people-to-people ties. So we should not spoil the relationship with Canada. Our government should take steps to improve the bilateral ties. Agencies are involved in the rise of gangsters, unquote. Viewers, this guy could be speaking as if he's just got a brief from Trudeau. Viewers, this is absolutely bizarre. There's Rashid Alvi, Congress spokesperson. He says, quote, Canada has been raising this issue for some days now. Not just Canada, America and Pakistan have also raised such issues. Whatever has been happening with Canada, the government should give a clarification regarding it. The current situation is denting our reputation in the world, unquote. Viewers, are you now going to start taking Pakistan also at face value? Has the Congress come to this? I can understand that you want clarifications from the government. No objections to that. But for God's sakes, are you going to take Pakistan at face value, Mr. Rashid Alvi? Then there's Pawan Khera, Congress spokesperson. He has an opinion on everything. And he says, quote, never in our history has any foreign nation ever had the guts to make an accusation against Bharat Sarkar. This is unprecedented. We all want to unite behind India, behind N.D.I.A rather, but it must first give a detailed briefing to the LOP of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha so that we can all speak as one. The fact that Trudeau has gone ahead and admitted that he's faked it is not good enough. Fine. The opposition has every right to be taken into account, viewers. No problems with that. But let's not make this contingent, this closing of ranks, on what the government has to tell you. It's quite apparent. These responses raise serious questions about the political motivations of these political parties and their commitment to the national interest, viewers. There's no other way of looking at it. Let's open this up. Let's open this up. Let's open this up. Let's go straight across to some of our guests. Dr. Ranganathan Tehseen Poonawalla there with us. Akashdeep Muni, the national spokesperson also of the BJP, Pradip Bhandari with us. I want to first begin with you, Tehseen Poonawalla, and I want to ask you a specific question here. Is it not good enough that the Canadian Prime Minister has come out and made a complete fool of himself, that he has actually embarrassed his own country, staked its credibility? Isn't that good enough for the Congress to say, okay, on this, Narendra Modi, we stand with you. We will not take what Pakistan is saying at face value. We will not say things like agencies are carrying out political killings in this country by suggesting that that is what happened to Mr. Moosewala. I think that's a bit unfortunate, and I'm sure as a true patriot yourself, you will understand why certain people might have a problem with the Congress and some of the other members of the India Bloc today.
Good evening, Rahul. Thank you for having me on the show. At the onset, let me harshly condemn my older brother, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, for interfering in Canadian political affairs as released by the Canadian government, and to make it on that list with some of my other wordies, including Abhijit Iyer Mitra, you deserve the harshest condemnation. So stop tweeting against Canada and interfering in their affairs. But Rahul, India does not have a Canada problem. India has a Trudeau problem. He's a neo-toddler. He's a neo-toddler who rightly said he's losing the elections, and with his pal Jagmeet, who, by the way, there's a lot of gossip about him and Indian journalists. Let me not go there. Are at the verge of losing elections and have completely lost the plot. Look, from the time of G20 when these allegations came up, Justin Trudeau's used the word credible allegations. Never the word evidence. He's only used allegations. Allegations means nothing unless they're not backed up with substantial evidence. Even yesterday, and I saw your tweet first, Rahul, you broke it. When he spoke to his people in the media, he said, look, we've not given India any evidence. So we stand by our Prime Minister, we stand by our government. On foreign affairs, on many policies, the opposition and the government is one. I think we stand by it. There are two issues that I would like, via your medium, the Prime Minister to do. I think one, he must and he's duty bound to brief the opposition. Canada and India share a very good partnership with the earlier Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, carried forward by Prime Minister Modi. Trudeau's blown that up. We now need to figure out and talk to the opposition what has happened. Number two, I think the way forward, because of the Five Eyes, etc., again, that briefing must be given to the opposition on what they're saying. None of the countries have backed Canada, even the Five Eyes. I think this is a misconception. What the Five Eyes has said, India must cooperate. India said we are ready to cooperate. Two or three legitimate questions. This Nijar, so-called plumber, why did he come into Canada illegally? If he was only a plumber, why was Canadian intelligence agency briefing a plumber, and why was he on the no-fly list of American Airlines? I think obviously the guy posing with the AK-47 or 56, whatever it is, was a terrorist. Canada must cooperate with India. We have a problem in our country. But at the same time, it is duty bound for the government to take the opposition into confidence. Individual comments must not be taken. One last line. Just as the BJP officially, and I quote them, on 30th May 2022, officially said, and I quote the BJP, Sidhu Moosewala's killing was state-sponsored. I quote the BJP. This is the BJP's national spokesperson. On 22nd May 2022, they had a condolence meet for Sidhu Moosewala. So the BJP should not do politics.
Who are you quoting?
The national spokesperson on 30th May 2020.
No, who? Which one? There are many national spokespeople, yes, you know.
Well, the most prominent one. But the point is...
No, I want to know. This is serious. If you believe that this is the case, please send it to me. Please send it to me. Please send it. Anyhow, no, just a minute. Okay.
It's an Hindustan Times report.
Okay, so, hang on. Tehseen Poonawalla, look, let me tell you. I don't know what the spokesperson has said.
In a video statement. I'm telling it.
Okay, so look, viewers, I can't go by what one stray spokesperson has said. We need to go by what the government of India, the Home Ministry, has to say about that. And they have been very clear that he was killed because of an organized gangland killing. That's what we know. Now, viewers, and that's what has also been mentioned in the FIR. Please go look at it. But, Tehseen Poonawalla, you have been extremely, extremely balanced. Why then are people like Mr. Channi putting the onus on Prime Minister Modi? I don't understand. Why does he need to repair this relationship, fix ties, as Jairam Ramesh has said, when it is Trudeau, as you yourself acknowledge, that has ripped up trust? Who is giving the ISI a fair run?
Yes, but also we must remember that our citizens or our Punjabi origin citizens are today citizens of Canada, or students are studying there or working there. And therefore, it is in India's interest for those people. Those are our people.
India has said, India has separated Trudeau from Canada. India in its press conference today. Yeah, so then the Congress is conflating two issues because it is making it an India-Canada problem. This is not an India-Canada problem. 1 second, let me bring it. One second. No, you're being nuanced. Your party has not been, because I didn't see that in any of these remarks. Charanjit Channi says India and Canada. He's not saying India and Trudeau's government. He says India and Canada enjoy very good relations. People from Punjab are living in Canada in very large numbers. We enjoy good people-to-people ties. So we should not spoil the relationship with Canada. Because this is what Channi is saying. He's not making any distinction. I think Tehseen Poonawalla is a sensible person. He should be the spokesperson, not Channi and whoever else it is. Anyhow, let me bring in, before I bring in Pradeep Bhandari, before I bring in Akshdeep Muni, I want to bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, how do you view this sort of India puts the onus on India? Sorry about the pun, but India, as I mean the India bloc. I can't understand this.
No, it's absolutely true. But for the nth time, first of all, good evening, Rahul. Tehseen is as much a Congressy as I am or you are. So let's get that out of the way. The guy is an out-and-out patriot. He always speaks in national interests. And on more occasions than not, we are all proud of him, as today. So to say that his views are matching with those of the Congress, nothing could be further from the truth. But anyway, and thank you, Tehseen, for blowing my cover as a raw agent. But Rahul, I don't know whether you know, the entire day...
Well, if you've blown your cover, you're in the raw. Sorry, excuse the pun. Yes, go ahead.
My goose is cooked. No, based on my year-old sarcastic tweets, I have been charged by the Canadian government agency with interfering in Canada's internal affairs and politics. And what are those two tweets, by the way? The first one says that Osama bin Laden was a Canadian citizen. If he was, he'd be very much alive and staying in Ottawa off Sussex Street where Trudeau stays with his 5 wives and 20 kids. And the second tweet was a comment on Trudeau's father, who refused to extradite Kanishka's terrorists, as you know. And I remarked on Justin Trudeau that an apple never falls far from the tree. I do admit I might not have been factually correct there, because if Justin Trudeau is an apple, then the tree is quite possibly not Canadian but Cuban, if you know what I mean. But Rahul, I speak as a layman, so my words are not restricted or cushioned by diplomacy or tact. First, there is no credible evidence that India killed N18L and other terrorists abroad. But second, even if it did, these thick as custard semi-literates don't even realize that if they claim that through scheme and stealth, Modi has systematically wiped out 20 designated terrorists on foreign soil, far from being outraged, a billion Indians would be ecstatic. I mean, did any sensible American disapprove President Obama killing Osama on foreign soil? Which Indian wouldn't want his country safer through his leader taking steps to eliminate his enemies? Every powerful nation runs covert ops. It is not only sensible, it is vital. And this N18L is the same guy who was put on a no-fly list, not by India, but by the West. It's the same guy who actually was involved, a terrorist. He was bombing and assassinating innocents, formulating kill lists of Indian diplomats, wanted the breakup of India. And this Trudeau is the same guy who congratulated America for killing al-Zawahiri, if you remember. He said, quote, killing of Zawahiri is a step towards a safer world. Canada will keep working with our global partners to counter terrorist threats, unquote. But when it comes to someone that India designates as a terrorist, wants him extradited from Canada, someone who was heading a terror outfit, suddenly Trudeau enters into an apoplectic fit. Why was Trudeau quiet when ISI recently killed a famous Baluch activist? Honestly, the only thing lower than Trudeau's credibility is his intelligence. He has single-handedly, Rahul, ruined Canada's relations with India, possibly for years, if not for decades. And for what? For piddly little gains in his Canadian electoral politics? Remember, Trudeau is the same guy who is doing nothing to stop the funding of secessionist groups in Canada who want to foment trouble in India. The attack on our temples, our embassies, the making of kill lists, the grisly tableau showing Khalistan is gunning down our ex-prime minister. And what does Trudeau do? Absolutely nothing. And now he's jumping like a cat on a hot tin roof. You know the reason? His party has lost important by-elections in Montreal. 20 of his own MPs have asked him to step down. His alliance partner Jagmeet is no longer with him. Separatists in Quebec are forming up for a revolution of sorts. He's going to be toast in the upcoming elections. So this is a totally political move by him, and it will backfire spectacularly.
The trouble is, viewers, that if he is indulging in what is now being commonly referred to in the global south as selective white moral fake outrage, why is it being amplified on our soil? Why is it being, Mr. Bhandari? Can you explain? Why is it that there are so many echo chambers here in India willing to take Trudeau at face value? And Akashdeep Muni, you please respond to Mr. Bhandari on point after he finishes.
Well, Rahul, good evening to your viewers. And Rahul, the issue is larger, and the issue is that whenever it comes to national interest, why do we have our opposition parties, in particular the Congress party, jumping and latching onto a narrative which is not in national interest? Now, is this an isolation incident in which Jairam Ramesh picked on to what the Canadians had taken forward, rather than believing the Indian investigative agencies and rather than believing the Indian official statement of the Ministry of External Affairs? Now you tell me, Rahul, any legitimate patriot, will he not think twice before latching on to something which is not in the interest of the country? Now, is this for the first time that has happened, Rahul? Remember what happened when Rahul Gandhi had visited to the United States of America. You had this global Khalistani terrorist who has a UAPA charge on him, Mr. Pannu, this terrorist Pannu, who was backing Mr. Rahul Gandhi's statement. Rahul, did you see Rahul Gandhi or the Congress party openly condemning what Pannu did? Now, the same Pannu is being openly given a platform in Canada, and the Congress party is absolutely silent. Now, at this time, you should ideally have a logic that you will speak with the Indian government in national interest. But do you see Mr. Jairam Ramesh speaking with the Indian government in national interest? Do you see them openly condemning Pannu? Do you see them openly condemning the stand taken by the Canadians? Absolutely not. Now, what is credible allegation, Rahul? Credible allegation is an oxymoron. What is credible allegation? Either you give evidence or you do not give evidence. Now, despite all of this, a man who is so close to Rahul Gandhi, that is Mr. Jairam Ramesh, latches on to something which the Canadians are planting. Now, is this for the first time, Rahul? Remember what happened in the case of Pakistan. Our forces carried out a surgical strike. Everybody in this country was echoing and celebrating it, bearing apart the Congress party which was asking for proof. Now, my question is why always the Congress party takes a stand which is fringe? And why do forces back Congress party on that? Why don't you have the official people of the Congress party who, even after taking a fringe position, getting a condemnation by the leadership of the Congress party? If Mr. Channi is an isolated incident and is an isolated leader, is a fringe leader who does not represent the views of the Congress party, do you see the Congress leadership condemning it? Absolutely not. This is where we question the patriotism of our principal opposition party, and that is where we say that it is just not an opposition party, but it always gives an impression that it is in the hands of larger forces which are not in the interest of the country. Well, and this is a large charge. And this has been proven time and again, Rahul, whether it is Canada, whether it is Pakistan, or whether it is forces inside the country.
Well, there was this Balakot incident, viewers, if you remember, and most of the opposition was questioning whether we had actually struck anything, and there was one cricketer turned politician, turned commentator, turned laughter challenge host, turned cricketer, turned comedian, turned politician, who came out and said, "Nahi, humne to do kauwe mare the." That is what was said, viewers. So there's a problem here. There's a tradition, and I want to bring you in. You obviously do represent the AAP point of view from time to time, Mr. Akashdeep Muni, but today you're speaking for the India Bloc, which is still united till I last checked. I want to ask you, and this is a fundamental question, Mr. Muni. There was a press conference that was held by Guru Patwant Singh Panun. Since every word he speaks is gospel for the Canadians, since they bring him onto their national television broadcaster, he said that pro-Khalistan group met Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. He said this, and this is very widely reported. The Times of India on 27th March 2024 carries this article. In a purported video, SFJ Chief Gurpant Singh Pannu claimed Kejriwal had a meeting with them in Gurdwara Richmond Hills. It's in America. NDTV is carrying a report 6th May 2024 that said N.I.A. probe against Kejriwal, ? Khalistani funding, says Lieutenant Governor, and he is looking into those issues, the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. Is that some of the reasons why? I mean, I'm just asking, I'm quite perplexed that why is it that we have to take this marsupial who's on air right now, his face, you can see it, at face value. Why do we have to take the gormless Trudeau at face value? Why does Modi have to do the heavy lifting? Why should the onus be on him when others are lying and faking it? Can you explain to me?
Sure. See, Rahulji, you remember during the Punjab elections, there was one poet turned wannabe politician who said that if Arvind Kejriwal wins Punjab, then he will be the next Prime Minister of Khalistan. Interestingly, it is now 2 years since Aam Aadmi Party won. There is no news regarding the N.I.A. probe or the Home Minister Channi speaking to the Home Minister and the taking it forward. But coming on to this particular issue, all Indians are for the sovereignty, unity and security of this country. I totally believe that when Canada questions India and when Trudeau does, even Canadians know why he is doing so. Everyone knows that he is losing the elections that are coming round the corner because of poor healthcare, crime, and because of economic condition of Canada. So he wants to pander to one community. But my bigger question that why Sukhpal Singh Khera is a Congress leader is questioning the Aam Aadmi Party on the Canada issue. Why leader of opposition in Punjab, Pratap Singh Bajwa, is questioning Canada and specifically Aam Aadmi Party on this Canada issue. Why Congress is not speaking together? Like there is one leader who is supporting.
So are you? No, hang on. This is a sensational development on the show. A crack in the India alliance as we debate how quickly the Congress is being isolated, Mr. Muni.
In Punjab, Aam Aadmi Party has no alliance with Congress.
Okay.
And it has been made clear by the central leadership. Now, there is a question that why Pratap Singh Bajwa questions the Aam Aadmi Party on this Canada issue yesterday.
No, I do hope
Why
that you
Pratap Singh
realize
Bajwa
that
questions-
Punjab is an integral part of this country. That you can't suddenly say that the borders of Punjab stand in the way of us being friends, because at the center you very much are. And Dr. Ranganathan is pointing to something, because I'm not getting a straight answer from either Tehseen Poonawalla or Mr. Muni. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, what are you pointing towards?
Just a small correction or asking of a question to my good friend Dr. Muni. Dr. Muni, is it not true that Aam Aadmi Party's Khaira supported referendum 2020, which was kick-started by the Khalistanis? Yes or no?
Which party is Khaira in? Please tell me, Dr. Ranganathan, which party he is Khaira in?
Which party was he in when he
Which party
supported?
he is?
Which party?
No, which party today
was
he
in?
is?
Why are you talking about?
Isn't it right that Aam Aadmi Party registered a case against Supal Singh Khaira? Isn't it right? The Aam Aadmi Party government registered a case against Supal Singh Khaira. Isn't it right that Aam Aadmi Party, having an alliance with Congress in center, has arrested?
He wants to respond to you. You've asked him a series of questions. Dr. Ranganathan, respond. Yes.
I just asked a simple question. When Mr. Khaira supported referendum 2020, just name the party he was in. It's a simple question with 3 words, the answer.
No, there are a number of questions for Bharatiya Janata Party
Okay,
also.
so viewers, look, the fundamental point here is...
About them. Today, Khaira is not in Aam Aadmi Party.
No, I know, but he was when he was supporting the referendum,
He
which is
not
the...
today. That is why.
Oh, that's why he left. I see. Okay. Well, viewers, look, there is just no clarity coming here. There is a man on your screens. He has lied to the world. Forget about his own nation. They will deal with him in a few months. He has besmirched India's name. And there is an opposition here that is still blaming Modi. Viewers, you don't really need individuals from Canada who support Trudeau to amplify his message. You can just fly into New Delhi and there'll be enough takers for his message. In fact, you should stand for election from here maybe. A constituency in Punjab will put him in. I'm sure that there will be at least the one that is elected, Simranjeet Singh Maan. That constituency will definitely put him in office.
Singh Maan is not elected. Not elected.
Yeah.
He is not.
Yeah. Because it's actually shocking. It's absolutely shocking. But you know, the next story is also one that, and I'm going to come to it now, because that also talks about the divisions that we have amongst us. We're so divided along ideological lines that we can't even agree on plain facts anymore. Forget about Canada. Viewers, now let's talk about a domestic issue. 5 men, you can see them to the right of your screens, 5 men, there you can see them, on your screens on the extreme right, were nabbed today by the UP police. They are the prime suspects in the murder of Ram Gopal Mishra, 22-year-old Durga devotee, who was killed for protesting an unprovoked attack on the deity immersion procession in Bahraich, in which he was participating. The reason they are limping and they are being held up and propped up like that is because they have been shot at by the police. One of them is injured in the leg. The shootout wouldn't have happened had they surrendered peaceably, but they didn't. The police say that they chose instead to shoot at them in an attempt to flee across the Nepal border, which is very close to these parts of Uttar Pradesh. In fact, these accused are saying so themselves. Here, listen to this exchange with the police carefully. Listen in, viewers.
गलत काम कर रहे हो तुम पुलिस के ऊपर हमला कर रहे हो हम लोग देखो गलती नहीं करेंगे कभी गलती नहीं करेंगे क्यों गोली चला दी है पुलिस के ऊपर सर हम लोग भागने जा रहे थे कि फायर करके निकल जाएंगे गलत है ना गलती वहां की अपराध करो फिर दूसरी अपराध कर रहे हो गलती हो गई सर हम लोग प्यार से लेके आ रहे थे इतना भरोसा नहीं था तुम लोगों पर किस तरह करोगे
We made a mistake. We were trying to escape. And then we decided to open fire. We'll never do this again. Galti ho gayi. This is what they've said. The reason these men presumably tried to give the police the slip is because they know that their crime was the result of an unjustifiable overreaction. India isn't an Islamic republic where a perceived act of sacrilege is punishable by death. The Sharia might sanction death for blasphemy, but India's constitution doesn't, viewers. There are laws, and these men should have let the law take its own course by approaching the police when they saw Ram Gopal Mishra in the middle of your screens clamber atop the home of a Muslim family to protest an unprovoked attack on a procession carrying a Durga idol for immersion. He did this because he was angry, viewers. I'm not justifying it. He did this because he felt that for no reason they were attacked while they were choosing to exercise their basic rights in this country, which is freedom of religion. So he rushed into this home, and there was a green flag fluttering on top of it. He rips it off to put a saffron flag. He never made it out. The police said that the residents attacked the procession because they objected to, quote, loud DJ music, unquote. That was the trigger. So they started pelting stones because they didn't like the loud DJ music that was passing past a mosque, viewers. Stones were pelted. Ram Gopal Mishra enters the house in anger from where the stones were being pelted on Durga idol immersion procession. He clambers atop the terrace, supplants the green flag with the saffron flag, and he's attacked and shot to death on the rooftop of the house. No attempt made to lodge a complaint with the police against Ram Gopal Mishra. Given the suo motu on-camera confession by the accused admitting that this was not a fake encounter, the opposition should be praising the police for their presence of mind and bravery. Instead, the India Bloc has gone into overdrive by questioning the motives of the police as if to suggest that the accused are the victims. This is what Akhilesh Yadav has said, viewers. He is the Samajwadi Party supremo. He says, quote, Durga idol immersion day violence didn't just happen, but it was pre-planned by the BJP, which has become adept at divide and rule. The Yogi administration is to blame for the riots. To hide their own failures, UP government carries out encounters. If ever there is an investigation, many police personnel will go to jail, unquote. Ajay Rai, UP Congress president, not some small-time leader. He says the government has been carrying out fake encounters since the very beginning. They're just trying to hide their failures, unquote. Imran Masood, Congress member of parliament. He says, quote, the rioters who burned shops should also be punished. Why do you link rioters to any religion, unquote? Because no one is linking anyone to any religion. There is a problem with these reactions from a section of the India Bloc. First, these reactions whitewash the attack by the Muslim community on the Hindu procession. Second, the remarks are an attempt to alienate Muslims from the state. The reaction by the opposition appears to be an attempt at convincing Muslims that the UP police is acting in a discriminatory manner to single them out for punishment. But why, you would ask, would the opposition do such a thing? Is it because there is an important set of 9 by-elections being held in Uttar Pradesh and there is a need to appease the Muslim vote bank? A look at the hard facts, viewers, and they're on their screens. And in this show, I always bring you the hard facts so you can separate the wheat from the chaff. No other show at this time brings you the hard facts. Now, what do they reveal? They reveal that the average Muslim population across the 9 constituencies is about 25%. In at least 6 of the 9 seats, the Muslim vote can influence the outcome. Out of these 9 seats, 5 are held by the opposition, which is dependent on the Muslim vote, which it is hoping to consolidate through this fear-mongering. That is why we have the problem. In fact, one seat, viewers, or 2 of them have almost more than 50% of a Muslim population. There are others which are close to that range. And those are the numbers. You can see them on your screens. Viewers, let's open this up because we need to ask some questions tonight. And these questions will go out in as direct a manner. And I want to begin first with Sumaiya Rana, Samajwadi Party spokesperson. Dr. Ranganathan, now listen to this answer because I want you to come in on this. Sumaiya ji, आप क्या ये बहराइच में जो रायटर्स हैं उनको कवर फायर दे रहे हैं?
Can I speak?
Yes, of course you can.
आप जिनको राइटर्स कह रहे हैं, अभी पिछली डिबेट में भी यही बात हो रही थी कि इसको स्पॉन्टेनियस रिएक्शन बोला था पुलिस का जो आज हुआ. क्या आप ये मान सकते हैं, आपकी मैं अभी बहुत थोड़ी देर पहले बात सुन रही थी, आप कह रहे थे कि डीजे के लाउड वॉइस की वजह से इन्होंने पत्थरबाजी की और उसके बाद ये नौबत आई कि एक की जान चली गई वहां। फैक्ट्स कम से कम सही बताइए। डीजे पर लाउड वॉइस की वजह से दंगा नहीं हुआ था, डीजे पर आपत्तिजनक भाषा शैली की जो बातें हो रही थी उस पर दंगा हुआ था। पहली चीज
क्या बोला?
दूसरे, मैं बता रही हूँ, मुझे प्लीज लेट मी कंप्लीट। दूसरी चीज ये होती है कि जहां पर भी आप मुसलमानों की बात करेंगे वहां पर आप उसको पत्थरबाजी से जोड़ देते हैं। यहां तक कि एनकाउंटर के वक्त भी जो दो लोग थे जिनको एनकाउंटर किया गया वो भी पत्थर चला रहे थे। मतलब मुझे समझ में नहीं
गोली चला रहे थे, पुलिस ये कह रही है।
पत्थर भी चला रहे थे और सवाल ये उठ रहा था कि वो पत्थर कहाँ से आए, उसके बाद वो बंदूकें कहाँ से आई उनके पास। रही बात उनके भागने की, मैं सिर्फ एक बात ये कहना चाहती हूँ, पुलिस ने अपनी छवि इतनी खराब क्यों करी है पिछले कई सालों में कि लोगों को सबसे ज्यादा असुरक्षित महसूस करते हैं। पुलिस कस्टडी में बड़े बड़े कांड हुए हैं पुलिस की निगरानी में। इस देश में तो वाई सिक्योरिटी के व्यक्ति को मार दिया जाता है, वो तो सिक्योरिटी किस काम की थी। तो पहली चीज तो शुरुआत से देखना पड़ेगा कि हुआ क्या और इसकी जिम्मेदारी किसकी। It is all about the failure of law and order of Uttar Pradesh government.
Okay.
सबसे पहली बात तो ये।
So we are giving a fig leaf to now religious violence. Okay, one second. Just hold your thoughts. We'll take it one by one. Let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan. DJ music was offensive. So go to the police station, Dr. Ranganathan, report the matter. Isn't it? That's what I would have done.
Rahul, this is the absolute usual trope that comes out every time people need to defend the indefensible. The question of provocation will come. I want to address that separately. The question of encounter killings would come. I want to address that as well. But first, I must say my sincere condolences to the family of Gopal. Gopal was dragged inside a house. His throat was slit. Using pliers, his nails were pulled out. His body was showered with bullets, and after he was dead, stones were thrown at him. This is the condition. And people are talking about the killers of Gopal, not about the morbid and horrific manner in which Gopal met his end. The second issue is, when you talk of encounter killings, please look at the data. Under the Samajwadi Party, maximum amount of compensation was paid in lieu of fake encounters amongst all states. There were encounters that have been done by every state. Yes, BJP ruled states have also done it, but let's not be selective out here. The truth of the matter is that in 2022 in Araria, Bihar, in 2023 in Mudabidri, Karnataka, Bhagwa flags were removed from temples and replaced with Islamic flags. And these were totally unprovoked acts of vandalism, unlike in this case, where the Hindu procession came under stone pelting as it passed by a mosque. Were the people who did that shot? In 2022, Mehboob Nagar, Telangana, you would remember during COVID, Ashok Chakra in the Indian flag was replaced with Islamic kalma. The flag was carried by thousands of Muslims provocatively through the streets. Did they come under police firing? Rahul, for every Hindu procession that passes by a mosque and blares music, there is a Muslim procession that passes by a temple that blares music. But we are offended only by the former. For every Hindu procession that brandishes swords, there is a Muslim procession that brandishes swords too, but we are offended only by the former. You find DJ playing Jai Shri Ram provocative, but you find DJ playing Deen ke Gaddar Bulaun Ali ko not provocative. Why? The 2020 Delhi riots, where both Hindus and Muslims took part, where both Hindus and Muslims got killed, were still labeled as anti-Muslim pogrom. Why? For every act of bigotry, hate crime, intolerance committed by Hindus on Muslims, there is a similar act committed by Muslims on Hindus, but we highlight only the former. Why? And finally, please, let us stop blaming Hindus by saying they provoke the Muslims by making their religious processions through quote-unquote now Muslim areas.
They are provoking.
I did not interrupt.
One second, Rana ji, किसी ने आपको डिस्टर्ब नहीं किया, उनको खत्म करने दीजिए, प्लीज. Yes.
If you're rattled, you can embarrass yourself after a minute after I'm done. Look, Rahul, the essence of Azan, which is, quote, there is no God but Allah and no one has the right to be worshipped but Allah 4062, amplified through the loudspeaker 5 times a day, whole year round near a temple, is not provocative. But celebrating Ram Navami and singing Bhajman Ramcharan Sukhdai one day in a year near a mosque is, and provocation is subjective. Only violent people are provoked into violence. Besides, this is the same justification given every time they attack Hindus. This action, reaction, provocation, reaction theory. But then I ask, why don't they apply this same theory to Godhra riots and justify them as a reaction to the train burning? There, they don't bring this action, reaction theory. The fact of the matter is, Ram Navami processions, Durga Puja processions, Hanuman Jayanti Shobha Yatra, even Garba celebrations are attacked and stoned with impunity. And none of these incidents elicit outrage from the cottage industry of activists and journalists who only highlight incidents where Muslims are the victims. That is the case. That is the truth.
Well, let me very quickly come in and just say on the first point you made, there is a clarification that has come from the UP police that says that the victim, Gopal, was not tortured. That is one thing they have said. So I just want to put that out there before someone spins out a story suggesting that I didn't correct or I didn't put the record straight, etc., etc.
I'm basing on the FIR what his brother registered the FIR and what his mother said.
Right, okay. So those are the claims, but the police seem to have suggested that they've conducted the post-mortem, this, that, the other. He was only shot once and there were just pellet injuries which have been sort of mistaken for multiple gunshot wounds and that he wasn't tortured. So I just put that out there. But I think the point is valid, viewers. ठीक है, आपत्तिजनक music was played. Okay. You can go to the administration, you can record it, you can go to the courts. You can make a list of all the people who were there. They were all from Bharuch, from that particular area. Everyone knows everybody, viewers. But are you going to lynch somebody? Drag them into your home or detain them in your home if they break into your home? You could have caught him and taken him straight to the police. You have it all on camera. It's there, viewers. I can show you those visuals. He's up there. It's no big secret. But no, you want to give instant justice. There he is. He's on the right of your screens. There he's clambered on top of that home and he's replacing the green flag and supplanting that with a saffron flag. Detain him, catch him, take him to the police. Even the police won't be able to do anything. Film it all. But no. If someone perchance insults the faith, sartan se juda, we're out on the streets. There is one individual called Nupur Sharma, viewers. Her life is finished. It's over. There is a parallel court. There was a man called Salman Rushdie. 40 years later, they pulled his eye out. He's written a book called Knife. I advise every one of you to read that book. You will understand then what it is like. I want to open this up. I want to bring in Pradeep Bhandari. Pradeep Bhandari, you are being accused, that is your party is being accused of losing a grip over law and order. And by pre-planning all these incidents around elections, etc., to win seats, polarize this, that, the other. How do you respond to that charge by Rana ji?
Well, Rahul, just to quote the Times of India on July 27, 2015, Uttar Pradesh, when Akhilesh Yadav was in power, topped the country in fake encounter as per the NHRC. To quote the Congress party when it was in power, as per Mr. Jairam Ramesh, when the Muzaffarnagar riots happened in 2013, Akhilesh Yadav failed completely. In fact, for 13 days, Mr. Yadav could not even meet the victims. Now, that is the state of the Akhilesh Yadav left Samajwadi Party, Rahul. Rahul, I want to speak about a larger thing. I am tired of doing these debates, Rahul, where the Indian opposition is absolutely blatantly appeasing. You have them appeasing even the case when a terrorist is caught and they ask for the religion of the terrorist, they will go to the Supreme Court and try to open the Supreme Court at night 12 o'clock. Do you remember this Samajwadi Party leader called Ghoshi who had demanded for a Rajya Sabha for Yaqub Menon's wife? Do you even remember, Rahul, that this is the same Samajwadi Party which had asked for taking back the cases of terrorists who were involved in Ayodhya and Banaras blast case? They had to be reprimanded by the Allahabad High Court. So this party cannot and should not give lectures. But where are we heading to, Rahul? We are heading to a state where the Indian opposition will tell the Muslims of India that your citizenship will go in CA and will not show proof and no citizenship of Muslim is gone. We are heading to a place where the Indian opposition will provoke the Muslims and the country saying that aap khatre mein ho in order to back a criminal. Now please tell me, what is Hindu-Muslim if there is a criminal if there are rioters who've been caught and they're involved in exchange of fires with the Uttar Pradesh police, what does the Samajwadi Party want? They want the police to be handcuffed and let the rioters act on them and the criminals act on them and the police jawan loses his life. How can a life of a criminal be of more value and a policeman be of less value? That is what Akhilesh Yadav and Samajwadi Party used to do. This is where when the Akhilesh Yadav was in power, Rahul, you had 699 murders. 699 murders in 45 days. 3 riots every month. Do you want Uttar Pradesh to go towards that logic just because you want to appease your vote bank? Where are we going as a country for the Indian opposition? That is my question, Rahul. And Rahul, I ask you, it is the same Akhilesh Yadav who are asking for a caste in Mangesh Yadav. Now please tell me that in minutes of encounter, how could Mr. Akhilesh Yadav know it's a fake encounter or right encounter? What does the law say? Even if the encounter is fake, there will be a magisterial inquiry of every encounter whether it is fake or genuine. And even if you are not satisfied with a magisterial inquiry, you can do a judicial inquiry. But within minutes of an encounter, how did Mr. Akhilesh Yadav say that it's a fake encounter? He said this because he wanted to appease the vote bank. It is the riot or it is the Hindu-Muslim politics which benefit the Indian opposition. That is where the Sachar committee said that despite the Congress being in power for 70 years, the Muslim state and social economically Muslims were not well off.
Okay, so
and
let me bring in
the strategy of the Indian opposition, whether it is Samajwadi Party in 10 seconds, I'll end, Rahul, or the Congress Party. It is Shama Mohammed saying in a tweet after the Haryana elections that the only community which voted for the Congress Party in Haryana was Muslims. So appease them, but at what cost? That is my question, Rahul. Whether it is Samajwadi Party or Congress, they appease a certain vote bank, but at the cost of national security, at the cost of law and order. This is not in the interest of the country.
At what cost? Yes, very quickly, yes. Dr. Ranganathan, yes.
Yes, no, absolutely.
Everyone's
made wonderful points, and I may disagree with what Rana ji has said. I respect her view. She is very honorable and erudite. I just want to ask a very simple question, yes and no question to her with your permission. Rana ji, according to you, were Mukhtar Ansari, Atiq Ahmed and Nathuram Godse all terrorists? Yes or no?
Will you please tell me something about Indian law? अगर इस देश की एक मजबूत न्यायपालिका है तो क्या आपको ये लगता है, एक्सक्यूज मी, अगर कोई टेररिस्ट है तो क्या आप उसको लॉ के खिलाफ जा करके आप उसके साथ इंसाफ करेंगे?
आप ये बोल रही हैं राणा जी,
आपका सवाल
आप ये बोल रही हैं राणा जी, आप ये बोल रही हैं, नहीं ये आप बोल रही हैं, ये आप बोल रही हैं
के बारे में बात नहीं करते।
सुमैया राणा जी, ये आप बोल रही हैं, are you saying this in real earnest seriousness after saying that आपत्तिजनक music was played and therefore pelting took place?
अगर आपने पूछा है तो मुझे जवाब दे लेने दीजिए।
आप तो दे रही हैं जवाब, आप कह रही हैं
जस्टिफाई कर रहे हैं कि देश की कोर्ट मूक बन करके इनका तमाशा देखती रहे और ये देश की सर्वोच्च न्यायालय का, उच्चतम न्यायालय का ये इन्होंने जो अपमान किया है अपने हाथ में कानून लेकर।
Okay, one second. Rana ji, you suddenly have faith in court. No, one second. Just please, Mr. Bhandari and Rana ji, 1 minute, please.
कानून का फैसला
ठीक है, आप कानून की आज बात कर रही हैं राणा जी, आप आज कानून की बात कर रही हैं। क्या जिन लोगों ने वो पत्थर फेंके वो कानून के लिए वेट किए? नहीं, उन्होंने तो कोई खड़खड़ाया नहीं किसी कानून के कोर्ट का, कचेरी का दरवाजा। Anyhow, Tehseen Poonawala, I want to bring you in. At what cost is this appeasement politics today being played? Have you heard of a gentleman called Salman Salim Thakur? Do you know of this person?
No.
No.
I don't, I'm sorry.
You see, viewers, here's the problem. Why don't we know about Yati Narsinghanand? All of us sitting at our homes today who are watching this show, all our drawing room experts will know about Yati Narsinghanand. Because every day, all the leftist newspapers will pull out yards and yards about Yati Narsinghanand, the hate monger. He is, and he should be brought to book. But viewers, Salman Salim Thakur doesn't figure anywhere in our heads. He is a 30-year-old computer engineer who walked into a...
Is he the Joker who in Telangana?
Joker. You see, viewers, he's Joker, he's mentally disabled.
No. He should be thrown in jail.
Oh,
and he should get
but we don't know of him, you see. So how, and viewers, listen to this. The man in Maharashtra, a few years ago in 2022, when Maharashtra was run by another government in 2022, had also knocked down idols in temples. But we'll never hear of this gentleman. You see, viewers, because... Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, because we need the votes, isn't it?
I haven't spoken at all.
Court, the same Supreme Court that castigated Nupur for burning India down, is completely silent when a couple of days ago Maulvi said unbelievably egregious things for Indian babies.
Yes, that is true. I know that. Yes, Tehseen Punala, 30 seconds. I'm sorry, I've run out of time. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That first of all, that guy is not a Maulana. He's a travel agent, and he continues to be invited on TV channels, which TV channels should stop doing it. He's an agent of the BJP. He's polarizing. And since I have only 30 seconds, I just want to say one thing to everybody. Condolences to Ram Gopal Mishra ji's family. Nothing justifies death. Nothing justifies murder. Nothing justifies violence. And I want everyone
Loud
to
music
understand.
played by a DJ does.
It doesn't justify, no matter how provocative it is.
I have to leave it at this. I completely empathize with what Tehseen is saying, but viewers, remember, appeasement at what cost? That's the question. Where are we heading through this appeasement? What are we legitimizing, normalizing, the right word? I leave it at this, viewers.
At L'Oréal Group.
Well, as the India-Canada ties continue to take a serious hit, Charanjit Singh Channi of the Congress has now made a statement and said, and I'm going to quote him here, that India and Canada enjoy very good relations. People from Punjab are living in Canada in a very large number. We enjoy good people-to-people ties also, so we should not spoil the relationship with Canada. Our government should take steps to improve the bilateral ties. Agencies are involved in the rise of gangsters. In fact, he has touched upon the murder of Sidhu Moosewala and has went on to say that the murder of Sidhu Moosewala was completely political. We'll bring you more details with regards to the word and suggestion coming in from Indian National Congress and former Chief Minister of the state, Charanjit Singh Channi. But at this point of time, he has made some serious statements. He has said that India and Canada do enjoy very good relations, and a large number of people, the Indian community, do reside in Canada, specifically from Punjab. So we should go on and solve the issue at first, because we enjoy good people-to-people ties with Canada. We should not spoil the relationship going on with the Canada. Our government should also take steps to improve the bilateral ties between the two nations. In fact, he has said that agencies are involved in the rise of gangsters, and the murder of Sidhu Moosewala is completely political. Let's listen into what exactly, Congress's member Charanjit Singh
ਸਾਡਾ 9 ਮਾਸ ਦਾ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਸਾਡਾ ਹਰ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਚੌਥਾ ਘਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਕੁੜੀ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਡੇ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈ, ਸਾਡਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੈ ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਖਰਾਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ। ਸਾਡੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਧਾਰੇ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਰੋਜ਼ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਬਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੈ।
ਇੱਕ ਗੈਂਗਸਟਰ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਹੀ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ?
ਗੈਂਗਸਟਰ ਫਿਰ ਪੈਦਾ ਕੌਣ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਇਹ ਨਾ ਪੈਦਾ ਕਰਨ। ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਬਿੱਲੀ ਥੈਲੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਏਜੰਸੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਇਨਵੋਲਵਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ। ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੂਸੇਵਾਲ ਦਾ ਕਤਲ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਰਾਜਨੀਤਿਕ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਹੋਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਮਝ ਆ।
CNN News 18 senior editor Pallavi Ghosh is joining us on the phone line. Pallavi, a very good morning to you. This is a very serious statement that Charanjit Singh Channi has made. First of all, he has also said that, Sidhu Moosewala's murder was extremely political, and you will get to know about it later in the days to come, of course. And he has spoken about how maximum number of Punjabi people are residing there in Canada. So Indian government should solve the issue at first.
And he's of course speaking from his constituency of Punjab. I mean, he's of course a member of parliament out there, and he's been chief minister of the state. See, not just lots of Sikhs who are settled in Canada. Likewise, a lot of money comes into Punjab by way of earnings of Indians who have settled down in Canada. If you go through Punjab, you will notice actually almost every third to fourth house has one person who's an N.I.D.I. settled in Canada. So the contribution of the earnings of the state also comes in from a large number of Sikhs settled in Canada, and that is the reason why he's voicing this concern that if India-Canada relations and trade ties and employment gets further derailed, it's going to start hurting the people of Punjab, and especially those young people who may have settled in Canada to make their earning. And that's the stand which he has taken, very much in sync with that of the Congress party largely, but this is precisely the point which is likely to stoke a lot of controversy. India has taken a tough stand against Canada, saying that they are needlessly blaming India and also meddling in our internal affairs. When a member of parliament stands up and says that we need to improve relationships with Canada, it of course throws up a lot of contradictions. It also throws up a lot of controversy, where the BJP is certainly going to ask this question, is that where are your loyalties lying? Is it with India or is it with Canada?
And since you have spoken about contradiction, Pallavi, please stay on with us. We have another statement coming in, this time around from Jairam Ramesh of Congress. He has also made a statement. He posted on his social media profile X, and I'm going to quote a couple of lines from that tweet here, that the Indian National Congress has already asked the Prime Minister to take the leaders of opposition in both the houses of Parliament and other political leaders into confidence on the serious charges levelled against the government of India by the USA and Canada. Allegations made by Canada are tarnishing India's global reputation and damaging brand India. Pallavi continues to stay on with us on the broadcast. Pallavi, we heard from Charanjit Singh Channi. He is asking to sit down and have a talk with Canada, but at the same time, Jairam Ramesh is saying that, take all the members of the opposition also into confidence. And let's talk about how India's brand is being damaged internationally.
Yes, absolutely. So this again is going to stoke controversy, where the BJP is certainly going to accuse the Congress party always siding with those who are not helping or those who are against the cause of India. Indian stand has been, as I was just pointing out, that there has been a consistent allegations on our country from Canada, from Justin Trudeau, and also meddling into our internal affairs. Now, when Jairam Ramesh is talking about all-party meeting, nothing wrong with that. I guess the government will take a call on that. But when he says that, relations between India and